Yeah. So this is the second part of my two-part series. The first part, if you haven't listened to it, just scroll to my page or at the Nairametrics page or a YouTube page where you'd also find this recording of my explanation or interpretation of why I think the exchange rate is devaluing that fast. I'd explain that a bit. Now, this part addresses this Abokifx issue. I've got a lot of calls with friends asking me to try and explain what exactly is going on. Like, what the heck is happening? Why are we suddenly under? Why is Abokifx suddenly under attack? Like, why the whole CBN governor went on TV yesterday and said that they are ready to fight, bring the fight to Abuja. Like, unheard of, man. It was kind of strange, but we live in very difficult times now, so one really has to be careful. Okay, so what exactly is going on? A few days ago, there was something I posted on my IG and my Twitter that sort of suggested that they were coming after Abokifx, and it was like it was a message telling the website to stop publishing Abokifx. I'm not going to name that website. Stop publishing Abokifx stuff because it was illegal. I was kind of surprised. I was like, why are they going after Abokifx? What have they done? And so yesterday, there was also an article on Nairametrics, and I think it was also on the cable, confirming that the CBN was actually investigating Abokifx. And this was confirmed by the CBN governor yesterday, and he alleged that those guys were running some kind of, funny scheme where they were profiting on the exchange rate. So, in simple English, those guys set the exchange rate, and then they profit from it because they buy and sell. So imagine that I wake up today and say, oh, the exchange rate is 502. Nobody knows how I set it up. I just say 502. And then I buy dollars. And then tomorrow I say the exchange rate is 504. Right? And everybody says it's 504 because that's what I've said. And then I sell. I make money. And then the next day again, I buy again at 504. And then I say 2 days later, the exchange rate is 506. And so it's possible theoretically for people to make money like that. And that is basically what they're alleging. And they also allege that the guy has multiple bank accounts. That's the owner of the company, has multiple bank accounts in Nigeria. And they've seen a lot of dollar inflows and outflows. I also even got intel, that the so-called person withdraws money from one ATM account somewhere in UK, about allegations against the guy. Why so much allegations? What exactly has this guy done wrong, right? So personally, I don't think that, it's up to the guy to prove whether he's engaging in any kind of illegality or not, right? And he's not going to prove it to me or to anyone. It's the courts if he feels like he should. They put out a press release yesterday saying they don't do that. So, but what exactly could he have done wrong? And, could he have done that inadvertently? Perhaps. So in financial markets, remember what I said in the first part, price determination and discovery is a very, very technical thing. It requires a lot of transparency. For example, in the stock market, there are clear rules that determine how prices change. Everybody knows those rules because financial markets can easily be manipulated, even when you have rules, not to talk of when you don't have rules at all. That's one. You can, even in commodities market as well, there are clear rules that determine how prices are explain how prices are determined. And these things are very well, they're transparent. Now, people who also host prizes in financial markets, right, usually are not necessary players in that market. So they are basically a marketplace where people buy and sell. So based off the data they get from the buying and selling in that marketplace, they know the prices. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let me explain again. If it's, let's say, the FMDQ, that's the market where, we buy and sell bonds and securities, fixed income securities, and even exchange. The FMDQ is an exchange where people buy and sell stuff. So they know what somebody has bidded and they know what somebody has offered. And they know the price that they exchange because they exchange in their platform. So it's on a transparent basis. They can basically tell you what the price is. Same thing with a regular crypto exchange. So most crypto exchanges know their prices because they know the people that are buying and selling within the exchange. So they know that, and they can reference and have a way of averaging what those prices are. These are fundamental things that any market must have, especially markets that display prices. You must always have that. And that's because you need to create some kind of transparency. So that's why today, if you wanted to buy in Binance or any of these, crypto exchange or even QDAX, you would have to have registered, open an account and all that. You deposit money, and then they can see the transaction flows and know how your prices have been determined. Now, for Abokifx, that doesn't happen. And we know why. It doesn't. It's like that because it's not a market where people basically buy and sell dollars. It's not. It's basically a curator. It's just a market where, not even a market, it's just a website that aggregates exchange rates on the streets. That's it, and then puts it there. Unfortunately, or fortunately, it is just now turned to a reference site for people to go to if they wanted to see exchange rates on the parallel market. Fortunately, that has made some good money and business, sense for the owner, right? Because probably makes money from all sorts of other things. Maybe if you read this press release yesterday, they sell data to, companies all over the world and blah, blah. So makes a lot of money from that. But on the unfortunate side, because it is now a reference for where you can basically buy or sell dollars. It's a reference price for a reference for the price of the exchange rate at the parallel market. It then opens up a lot of stuff. Okay, so how are the prices determined? It doesn't conform with what we know of how markets determine prices. I explained that earlier. Is there a guideline or rules that determine how that shows how you determine your prices? Who are the people who supply you these prices? Do they have names? Do they, what's the quantity? So there are a lot of things that go into price determination. So it's really a thin line, right? Between just trying to create and report news, which he's not the only one doing it. You're not the only ones. There are a lot of websites that basically do it. It's even easy. You can start it yourself on your Twitter handle. All you do is just call a few malams. How much is the price today? How much is the price? And they tell you, and then you put it on your Twitter handle, right? So that's all. But unfortunately, it's just turned out to be the reference site for exchange rate. That's it. Not that, what he's doing is unique to him alone. There are a lot of websites out there who do something similar. But unfortunately, that's what it is. And that looks like where we have each other now. Whether he's profiting from it and buying and selling, I mean, that is that kind of seems wild to me, though. Sounds wild. But that's up to, to the guy, to go and prove, and his lawyers to go and prove in court. But in terms of where, maybe it's kind of like cross the line, that's really the issue. So the challenge now becomes, okay, so what could he have done better? Or how do we get around things like this? Because we really want to know what the exchange rate is. I don't know. So maybe somebody was saying, maybe perhaps should I put in a disclaimer there saying that, look, we don't determine the prices. Don't take these prices seriously. Take it with a pinch of salt. It's nothing serious. It's just the price. So we just called one or two malams. We don't know whether those malams are saying the truth or not. Maybe perhaps that may just sort of absolve them. Could he have maybe said, okay, this is how we determine our prices, and have a page that sort of like explains how prices are determined, and blah 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 blah. Maybe. I don't know. That's we can always. There's still going to be a lot of debates and discussions around what can be done, because we do want freedom of expression, freedom of press. People should be free to just do things. Yeah, we don't want to be gagged. I mean, I don't think we want to be gagged. And there are people out there who really, really, need to reference something to be sure that they're not being cheated, because we're in the world. This is the internet world today, so everything is just basically on the internet, and we sort of crowdsource a lot of stuff these days. So I guess whoever is able to maybe have a very clear way that shows how they display these things probably might do a better work, or might maybe get out of all this quagmire. But that's the issue here, and it's really bitter. It's tough. It's annoying to a lot of people. That why is this happening? But I'm just trying to explain why. Maybe even if there's a reason why the CBN is doing what they're doing, even if that reason is acceptable or not, that's because of the market. And the reason why it's this way today is what I said before. The exchange rate the gap is wide now, right? And that is what is basically driving the economy. So people are basically repricing their assets and their goods and services based on what they're seeing. And if you don't really know how these prices are determined, there's no science behind it, it's just worrying. So there are a lot of people who are also calling me every day like, what's going on? Why are prices just going up? Like, it doesn't just make sense. Who is buying up these things, right? So that's why you see somehow you just unfortunately just fall into the eye of authorities even without knowing. You know what I mean? So that basically is my own assessment of what is happening in this Abokifx matter. I think in the coming days there will be different more information that we'll get that can, who knows, maybe even change my opinion or change the opinion of others, and we better start to understand what's happening. But at the end of the day, man, guys, it's all about the money. That's what I always said. It's all about the money. Follow the money and you follow the decision making and a lot of things that goes with it. The exchange rate is depreciating by the day, and that is what is driving all of this. The reason why it is happening has not changed. We don't have enough dollar supply. Pronto. That's it. The moment we have enough dollar supply, exchange rate will stabilize. And that will only happen if foreign portfolio investors come back into this country. And like someone said to me, we need to start to think about interest rates. Interest rates for the Naira today is very low. I know why it's low, because you need to stimulate the local economy. But people are not interested in investing in the Naira when all you get is less than 12% interest rate. Nobody's going to invest in it. So if interest rates are high, then maybe that could even help the situation, right? Because you don't have supply of dollars. So something has got to give. So that's it. Before I start to go technical and wax technical here, thank you all so much. If you've got questions, drop it in the comments section. And I'm gonna put up something in a couple of days. It's a series that Nairametric has started. It's called Facts Behind the Figures, and we try and just put some senses, a lot of numbers, a lot of things that you see out there. And this particular episode is going to be on what exactly do we spend dollars on, and how do we earn dollars. Let's just challenge ourselves. Let's know these things and see what we can do better as a country. Thank you all very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye-bye.